Hey everyone, it's Gabby, and today I want to talk to you about another symptom, another sign in this awakening process, and it is called Dark Night of the Soul. I'm going to give you 7 signs that may or may not relate to you to see if you are, in fact, going down this road, this path, this time in your awakening and experiencing any of these symptoms or signs that are related to Dark Night of the Soul. It's all good if you are. This is totally normal for anybody that is on this path to awakening and enlightenment, and they walk down this path and they experience Dark Night of the Soul. It's something that anybody that is awakening and anybody that is becoming enlightened will experience eventually, one time or another, and it's temporary, thank God. It will go away over time. But let's talk about it. Number 1 is there's a lot of confusion. You don't know who you are anymore. You are losing your identity. You don't know where you stand. You don't know where you belong. You're confused. You just, you don't fit in anymore. Everything and anything that you've ever known about yourself is null and void. It's like it stopped. You have no more passion. You have no more fire burning for the things that you used to love, and it's just like confusing, and you just don't know why, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's a difficult time in your life when you lose your identity and you have to start all over and figure out who you are. It just seems like everything in your life is falling apart and breaking down. It's kind of like you're in limbo. Everything that was in your life that brought you joy no longer brings you joy. For instance, anything that gave you a sense of identity, like that job title or that relationship, or maybe you were somebody that was a very important person and a lot of people looked up to you, and it gave you joy and pride and honor to be that person. It gave you drive and passion because that's who you were. And now that's not who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't even know what you are, what you want to be. You don't know where you want to go. You just feel a lot of loss, a lot of breakdown, and you're confused. You don't know who you are anymore. Number 2, your life is changing and transforming rapidly, and you can't even keep up with it anymore. It's like an emotional roller coaster. As the regular, everyday, normal human, we're used to a certain pace of life. And when we do something big, like a big move, after that big move, you're kind of stressed out, and you kind of, after the move and you feel stressed, you chill out. After that transition, you move on. Now, there's no chill mode, there's no chill button, there is no moving on. You're just moving at a fast pace, and you're just jumping from one thing to another thing. And, this affects us deeply, emotionally. And, this can actually go on for weeks, months, or even years. We're just not used to this fast pace. It's constantly affecting us emotionally, and we're constantly stepping into the unknown, which causes a lot of anxiety. And anxiety can cause a whole menagerie of other symptoms. So just know, if you are, experiencing this symptom at this time, it soon shall pass. Just know that you are on your way to being enlightened. You are waking up. It's just that you're living life at a faster pace, and it causes a little bit of fear. No big deal, right? After a while, the fear will subside. It will go away, because you will know from experience that from fear, something great happens. And there will be a point when you're stepping into the unknown, and it's going to make you feel a little bit scared, but there's a piece of you that will also be a little bit excited, just because your conscious is expanding and you're growing, and what you're going through is real, and that there are all these magical moments. So a piece of you will be scared, but another piece of you eventually will be excited. So just know, change and moving on and progression will bring you to a better place, and better things will start to happen in your life. Number 3, a lot of physical symptoms. You might just start feeling lethargic or fatigue. You might experience some insomnia. Maybe you'll even experience general aches and pains, and your joints will hurt, and all these weird symptoms, like so many things will start to become annoying and painful, and you just don't know what's going on, and you may find yourself calling your doctor and having your doctor check you out every week, every month, like I did. Nothing wrong with that. If you have aches and pains and you have headaches and you're tired, you should go to the doctor. But when the doctor rules out that nothing is wrong with you, know that you are going through an awakening. You are experiencing these aches and pains and all this crazy stuff that's going on is because it's like we all have a soul inside this vessel, okay? So as we wake up, we start to purge out some of this 3D, this 3 density bullcrap, this carbon-based crap that's inside of us, and we're allowing this crystalline light to embody us. And as we wake up, our soul starts to expand, and when something expands, it grows. When something grows, it pushes out. So it's pushing on things. It's pushing on your joints and your bones, and it's just making you feel like something's wrong, like something's pained. And also, as you wake up, your crown right here is opening, and it's allowing more light to come in. And as more light comes in, everything starts to expand. You are turning into a crystal. You are turning into a crystal. You are turning into like a crystalline being. Like your DNA is becoming crystallized, like crystal. And people in the 3D world will look at this video and think, okay, this girl is whack. She don't know what she's talking about. But when you wake up and you allow the light to embody you, you as an enlightened being will understand what it means to become crystal and a light being. So that is what's causing the pain in your body, is your DNA is upgrading. You are receiving these upgrades, not just your body, but your brain, your mind, your third eye. You're starting to see symbols and colors, and you're starting to feel things. You might even see things. So that's what's going on with your body, and that's why you're feeling all these aches and pains. So if it's happening to you, just know that this is one of the symptoms. As long as you go to the doctors and they rule out that nothing is wrong with you, just know that this is one of the symptoms. Also, one of the other symptoms that I experienced was rapid heartbeat. Like, I thought something was wrong with my heart. It would just beat fast. I'd be sitting on the sofa doing nothing, and then all of a sudden it'd be like really fast, and then it would stop. I thought that I was having some kind of heart failure. So I found a cardiologist. I got tested. Everything came back A-okay. Gabby wasn't dying. Gabby was getting an upgrade from the freaking universe, okay? And this happens a lot when we have solar flares. It happens a lot when portals are opening. It happens a lot when certain planets shift around the sun and the moon. So, astrology plays a big role in this awakening. So if you are on the awakening process, you may be drawn to read about, the sun, the moon, the stars, other planets, energies, numbers, so just know that everything ties in together, and that is one of the awakening symptoms. I wanted to mention that it really doesn't have anything to do with the dark night of the soul, but it kind of does, because when you are in pain and you're feeling all these things and the doctor's telling you it's all in your head and you're crazy and there's nothing wrong with you, it kind of makes you feel like you're in the dark, like you have nobody to talk to, because you can't tell anybody that. You can't just keep complaining to everybody that, oh my God, I have a headache. Oh my God, my back hurts. Oh my God, I have this heart thing going on with me. They're just going to think you're a hypochondriac. And it's hard to talk to people that are not awakening. So that's why it's important to look for groups on social media and, subscribe to their email lists and just get into these groups and find people that are going through these experiences like you, so you don't always feel like you're in the dark experiencing the dark night of the soul alone. Number 4, you are constantly being challenged with massive life issues. Probably financial issues, could even be relationship issues, could be that maybe you are going to be going through a divorce, maybe you're going to lose your house, maybe you're going to lose your job. Could be anything that's massive. All these like things in your life just start to pop up, and they're just like one thing after another thing, and you're like, what the F, dude, what's going on with my life? These are all heavy situations for you to go through. This is heavy for your mind, it's heavy for your body, and it's hard to deal with, and it just makes you feel like everything in my life is falling apart. What am I going to do? This is dark night of the soul. You know what though? These massive life changes are something that you need to go through because they do something to you. They penetrate something deep within inside of you, all the way to your soul. These are life-changing moments. These are lessons. When you go through something rough or hard or sad, in all of those things that you go through, there is a learning experience in that. It's something, it's like you need to go through that because it helps break these codes that are deep within inside of you, your deep unconscious self. It's kind of like chiseling away at you. You are this beautiful crystalline being covered in a mountain, and in order to find that beautiful crystal, you need to chisel and bang away at this rock mountain to find that beautiful crystal, so that crystal can be beautiful and shine and let the light in. So that's basically what's happening to you. So I always try to find the positive in a bad situation. In my past, it hasn't been the truth for me. I've always been kind of like a negative Nancy, if you will. But going through my awakening, I learned that something that makes me sad or something that I'm going through that's a bad situation, in the end, there's always that moment, that truth. And it taught me something. It made me who I am today. So I honor when I'm going through a bad situation. I honor that, and I know that there is something that in the end is going to teach me a lesson, so I can grow, so I can expand, and I can become the light that I truly am. Number 5, divine mystical experiences. So you may start to see lights. You may start to have vivid dreams. You may start to feel very dark deep down inside and lonely and depressed. And these are not things that you feel comfortable talking to your regular friends about, because they will think you are absolutely nuts. They will think that you need to go to Bellevue. And that's why it was so hard for me to share who I am and all my experiences, because in the past, people just said I was crazy. I'm an enlightened being, and I know it. I don't believe it. I know it. I know it to be true. And I was guided to start using divination tools, using tarot cards and oracle cards, angel cards, and doing readings and talking to people. And that's kind of what came to me. You know what else came to me through my awakening? Orbs. People say it's dust. I know the difference between dust and light orbs. I see orbs. I don't see dust. I see light beings. Maybe you have premonitions, or, maybe something magical has happened to you. And having this divine mystical experience is kind of, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It gives you hope that you are coming out of this dark night of the soul, because you have those mystical beings guiding you, and they're there. You don't believe that they're there. You know that they're there because you've had those magical experiences. Maybe it's not something you could share with somebody, but deep down inside your soul and in your heart, it's real, and that's all that matters. Number 6, you experience a lot of scary and bizarre things. And when I say scary and bizarre, I mean like you start to see, synchronicities and numbers. 1111. You'll see it on a license plate. You'll see it on the clock on the stove, and then you'll see that 11 stops on the microwave, or maybe the next house that you visit and you pull up, or the doctor's office, and their address just happens to be 1111. It's just like, it's there, and you see it so much that it's actually grabbing your attention, and it's screaming out to you, 1111, look at me, I'm number 11. And you know that there's something more to it than just coincidence. Maybe you see feathers, or maybe every day you've seen a cardinal, or I don't know, maybe you're thinking about somebody and they call you. And it doesn't just happen one time. Maybe it's something that's happened like 2 or 3 times within the week. And it's like, it's blowing your mind. And you're like, holy shit, dude, I was just thinking about you. And this is the 3rd time this week this happened. You know, those are like the bizarre things that are happening. And, you know, there's other experiences. Maybe you're listening to a song and you were thinking about a person that you love that passed away. And, you know, you were thinking about their favorite song, and then all of a sudden it just plays on the radio, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy, that's creepy. You know, some people find that stuff creepy. I think it's cool, but I know there's a lot of people I know that are like, wow, that was freaking creepy. Some other crazy things: when you fall asleep at night, you might just start seeing like colors, random colors, or creatures, or aliens, ETs. You might even have an out-of-body experience. I mean, there are so many awesome things that happen. I think this is the awesome, bizarre stuff. Other people think it's the scary, bizarre stuff, but I guess it's to each his own, right? But those are some of the things that you do experience as you are going through the dark night of the soul. And that is another symptom that kind of gives you light to know that there is hope. Something is there. Something magical is coming in your life. And deep down inside your soul, you know it. So it's kind of something, it gives you something to hang on to and give you hope that you know that you're not crazy and that you are a magical being. And number 7, no matter what you try, you cannot escape any of these side effects. These little things just keep happening to you, you know. Your mind kind of tries to find these little pleasures to fall back on to make you forget. And maybe those little pleasures was a painting hobby, or watching TV, or reading, or I don't know, anything, whatever your hobby is. Anything, you know, that you do to take your mind off of something, to help you free your mind. Well, that's not the case anymore. The things that you used to fall back on to do that you enjoyed, these little guilty pleasures, are no longer pleasurable. You don't even like to do them anymore. You don't even want to. You are finding it impossible to find joy from anything that is outside of yourself. You feel completely trapped in all 7 of these symptoms that I just mentioned. Things are changing. Your identity is lost. Now you know why they call it the dark night of the soul. It's dark, it's challenging, and you know, I've experienced this. I started to go through my awakening in 2011. So it's been a few years now. So, you know, I do still find myself, or I still did used to find myself, falling in and out of certain phases of all of these symptoms to a certain degree. So I definitely had my time, and I've experienced a lot of these symptoms and more. These are only 7. You know, I can do another video on more symptoms, but these were 7 important things that I wanted to share with you today. You know, when you go through the dark night of the soul, this is not something that you experience for one day or 1 week. This is something that you experience for months, even years. It just depends on your soul. But all of this is indicative when going through the awakening process. You experience the dark night of the soul. But in between, you know, the dark night of the soul, you'll start to get little glimpses of where your consciousness is expanding, and you'll get to see where you're going. And you know, those magical moments, they'll resonate deep within inside yourself, and you'll know that there is something grand. Hey, at least you get to see what's coming, and you get to see what's ahead of you, and you know, where you're going with this as your consciousness expands, as you grow, as you glow. And hey, you're one of the rare souls that gets to experience this. Not too many people are awakening, but you are. Welcome. You are on your way to discover who you really are. And, you know, it's not so bad. In the process, you get to witness and experience the magic of who you are. You are like awesome. You are like a god, a goddess. You get to experience with magic. You get to talk to souls and your higher self and guides and I don't know, you just, all these weird, amazing, magical things will happen for you. You get to manifest and create the life that you've always wanted. How awesome is that? How many people can say that they manifested their life? I manifested my life. I no longer have to work 9 to 5 in an office. You know why? Because I manifested it, you know? You can make your dreams a reality because they're not dreams. Whatever you have in your heart, whatever you can see in your mind, you can create it. All right? Love and light.